Welcome back to Tech by Pike. Today for this video we are branching out a bit. We have in the studio the new for this year M2 Macbook Air. We got the midnight blue color. And so we want to go ahead and unbox this and check out the chassis, keyboard, and trackpad. But we also want to do some synthetic benchmark comparisons between the MacBook Air, the M2, against the M2 iPad Pro that I just recently uploaded a video about. And I also still have that M1 iPad Pro, both of them 12.9 inches. This particular MacBook Air comes with the M2 chip, like I said. That's the 8-core CPU and 10-core GPU, 16-core neural engine. It also has 16 gigabytes of unified memory, 1 terabyte SSD, comes with a 13.6 liquid Retina display with True Tone, and it also comes with the 1080p FaceTime HD camera. It also has the MagSafe charging, which we're really excited about, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and then it comes with the 35-watt USB-C dual compact power adapter and backlit Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. So I do realize that because this has the Apple OS on it and the 2 iPads have the iOS operating systems on them, it's not apples to apples. I get that. But I do want to do some benchmark comparisons, and then I'll have some probably final thoughts or initial thoughts depending on if I want to create another video or not at the end. So with all that being said, let's get into it. All right, let's go ahead and open up this MacBook Air. So just to let you know, I went ahead and got the midnight color. It does come in 4 different options. You got the space gray, the silver, and then you got this color called Starlight, and then this one, which is midnight, and it's kind of this blue color. And it seems to be one of the favorite colors that people have been purchasing. All right, before I open it up, gives a little detail on the back. 16 gigabytes unified memory, 1 terabyte SSD. It is the 13.6 inch MacBook Air with the M2 chip. All right, I'm really excited to see this and check it out. Wow, that is really thin. Check that out. I've seen these at the Apple Store, but I haven't actually picked one up in the packaging, and that is really nice. Feels really solid. All right, we'll unwrap that in just a moment. Got the charging cable. It's braided, and it looks like it's the same color as the actual MacBook, so it's that midnight color, that blue color. That is really cool. Nice touch. Open this guy up, and here is our charger here. We'll unwrap that real quick. I believe this is a 20 watt, no, I'm sorry, 35 watt charger. All right, set that off to the side. We'll go ahead and unwrap this real quick. All right. Now I'm going to move the box out of the way here. And we're going to go ahead and open the propaganda. MacBook Air, some safety instructions, different information about it. It's got the MagSafe, Thunderbolt 4, USB-C, headphone jack. It's got the touch button ID, Menu bar, FaceTime, HD camera, I believe that's 1080p. It's got a control panel, the finder, the dock, and system preferences. And of course, touch trackpad. Welcome to your MacBook Air. That is very cool. No stickers? Oh, let's see if I can get these out here without ruining them. Look at that. The color of the MacBook Air. That's a nice touch. Yep, I like that a lot. Okay, I'll put that with my collection of Apple stickers. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the main event here, and let's open up the MacBook Air. Wow. That is really nice and solid and thin. Oh wow, that is really, really nice. Look at how thin that is. I'm just dying to open it up here. Let's go ahead and do that. Can we do it with one finger? Absolutely. And there you go, turns right on. Okay, so the chassis of this particular laptop is fairly durable. I can tell already just based on the top of the lid here. A little bit of flex right there in the middle, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and lift it with one finger. Voila. And it clicks right on when you lift the lid. Excellent. So let's check out the palm rest here. Very nice and smooth. The trackpad is nice and large, clicks all the way to the top. Really like, boy, that engages the power as well. Turns it on. All right. All right, let's check it out all the way around the keyboard here. Nice and solid, no bowing whatsoever. All right, let's check out the keyboard. And I will tell you, this is one of my favorite keyboards. Engages the power again, turns it on. Really nice. Keycaps are nice and large. Good clicking action. All right. Okay. There it goes again. Engages. Turns on the laptop. Has the fingerprint reader there for easy access, so that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and check out and see if there's any wobble of the screen. So we're going to go ahead and turns it on again. We're going to go ahead and see if there's any flex. Absolutely no flex. No real flex at the bottom of the screen there, if you can see that. All right. We're going to check out the ports here on the laptop, and we already talked about it already. Oh, I will tell you, if you can't see that, the midnight blue color really is a fingerprint magnet. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's quite a bit of fingerprints here, and it just looks kind of dirty. So just be aware if you're interested in getting that color for your next MacBook Air. We have the two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C connectors there, and then you have the MagSafe. There's nothing here except for the headphone jack. And then on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see that, but right underneath the hinge here, it looks like there's some venting going on there and no intake at the bottom. It's just a solid plate. So there you go. This is the 1080p camera on the new M2 MacBook Pro for this year. No lag. I see no latency in any way, any kind of blurring. Really quite the quality camera, to be honest with you. So I was going to type on it, but it won't let me do that. It makes this other sound. So anyway, the mic, I believe, will sound really good. I'm going to record this, and I'm going to play it back and record the recording and see how it sounds. But I'm impressed. We're going to check out the speakers here, the volume, the quality. We're going to be using one of my own videos that I have posted but has not gone live yet around the Asus ROG Flow X16 2-in-1 gaming laptop. Some benchmarking results. So anyway, let's hit play and see what we got. I'm going to turn it up here. Results of the Asus ROG Flow X16 2-in-1 gaming laptop. We did an unboxing of this laptop a couple weeks ago, and we've posted that video already. And since that time, we've done some real-world benchmarking. So not bad. Gets pretty loud for a thin and light, and I'm pretty impressed. We're going to do a weight check on the MacBook Air M2. The laptop alone is 2 pounds, 11.5 ounces if you include the charger. 3 pounds, 1.2 ounces. Now, my daily driver is the iPad Pro 12.9 with the keyboard. 3 pounds, 1 ounce, and with the power brick and cable, 3 pounds, 4.8 ounces, so a little bit more, not by much. I want to demonstrate the MagSafe charging, and so you just click it in like that with the connector there. It turns green when it's fully charged, it's orange when it's not, and it is charging. But the great thing about the MagSafe is that if there's a cable on the floor, if the cable's on the floor or somebody trips over or gets yanked in some way, it just pops right out and it doesn't really move the laptop all that much. Let's try that again a little bit slower. Yeah, I think that's great. So anyway, so we're going to do some synthetic benchmarking just to do some contrast and compare with the between the M1, the M2, and the MacBook Air M2. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start on all of these, and I only have 2 hands, so we're going to, there we go. That's upside down. Okay, so the Wildlife Extreme benchmarking is done via 3D Mark. The MacBook Air M2 got an overall score of 6,597, average frame rate 39.5 FPS. The M1 got an overall score of 5,103, average frame rate 30.6, and then the M2 iPad Pro got an overall score of 6,999, which beats out the M2 MacBook Air, and it also got a higher FPS score of 41.9. So far, the M2 iPad Pro beats out the M1 iPad Pro and the M2 MacBook Air. All right, we're going to start another synthetic benchmark, and we're going to be using GFX Bench Metal. And this is more of a graphical benchmark test. We're going to go ahead and start that, and start that, and start that. All right, so the scores are in, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is the MacBook Air M2 scores here, and you may have to focus in a little bit. I'll just read off the Aztec Ruins high tier. We got a score of 39.63 frames at 59.7143 frames per second. Like I said before, that's the MacBook Air M2. The M1, we got some scores here. I'll scroll it. You can slow it down if you can see it. I try to get it all in the same frame here, but we got the top Aztec Ruins high tier 2,931.95 at 45.5979 frames per second, and then the M2 iPad Pro, the top here Aztec Ruins high tier, we got a score of 3,695.28 frames, and then frames per second was 57.4693. So it looks like the MacBook Air M2 and the iPad Pro M2 are trading off for which one's the best, depending on which test we're looking at. They both beat the M1, obviously. We're going to do our last bit of synthetic benchmarking. We're going to use Geekbench 5. We're going to run the CPU benchmark. So let's start that real quick. Do that, and then, okay, we're off and running. Hopefully we'll get those scores here real quick. All right, CPU Geekbench 5 benchmarking on the MacBook Air M2. We got a single core score of 1931 and a multi-core score of 8,988. On the M1 iPad Pro, single core score 1,724, multi-core score of 7,361. On the M2 iPad Pro, single core score of 1,888 and a multi-core score of 8,510. I don't know if you can see any of this. You can slow down the video if you want to look at this in really a lot more detail. But I'm just going to scroll here and just so you can see it. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to go back up to the GPU benchmarking. Hold on. Okay, let's go ahead and run the compute benchmark graphics card. Hit that. Run. And run. Okay, the OpenCL score or compute score, the graphics card score for the MacBook Air M2, you got a 27,722 score. The iPad Pro M1, you got a 21,341 for a score, and then the M2 iPad Pro, you got a score of 33,131. So obviously, the iPad Pro M2 beats out both the tablet, the M1 tablet, and the MacBook Air M2. So that's it for the M2 MacBook Air. I could go on with some more benchmarking. We can do some video editing and do some benchmarking around that, but this video started getting a little long and I didn't want to get too far into the weeds before I cut it off. I think I will probably create another video around video editing with the MacBook Air, but I also wanted to do some compare and contrast between the MacBook Air and the iPad Pro 12.9 with the M2 and the M1. And obviously there are some differences. One runs iOS, one runs Mac OS, and there's software that works on one and not the other, and vice versa. The MacBook Air cost around $18.99 without tax as a 1 terabyte SSD M2, and the iPad Pro 12.9 cost us around $13.99 without tax, and so this one is a little less expensive and it performs just as well, but the keyboard and the second gen pencil doesn't come with it. So if you add the Magic Keyboard, which is another $349, and the second gen pencil, you're talking about $129, comes out to about $1,877, so $1,877. So between the two, that's what is that, close to maybe $30, $25 to $30. So not a lot of difference. And there are some things that the iPad can do that the MacBook Air cannot, and that is it's a tablet, and it can be separated from the keyboard, and you can definitely carry it around, watch content just like you can on the MacBook Air. But it is one single unit and it's a tablet, and you can use your pencil, you can draw, you can write, take notes. It's touchscreen, and the MacBook Air is not. It doesn't have those attributes to it. Another thing that we get with the MacBook or with the iPad Pro 12.9, any of the iPads, you have an option of getting it with a data plan. And that's what I did. I got one of my iPads with a data plan. It's my M1. And that costs a bit more too, but I am connected anywhere I go and on an internet access. So there's that too. So anyway, there you go. It just depends on what you're doing with them. Depends on the software that you want to use, and depends if you want a tablet versus a laptop, and you want to use a pencil to draw and take notes and whatnot. So a number of differences, but they both perform very, very well. Even the M1 performed well, even though the benchmarking suggests that it is not as powerful as these two. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this from Tech by Pike, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Helps the channel. Not only that, it gives us an opportunity to bring more videos like this to you. And for that, we thank you. We'll see you in the next one.